Hey guys, it's Sarah with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we have a review and install of the Pro Series projector headlights with the jet black finish, fitting your 19 and newer Ram 1500, excluding the classic models. This is perfect for the Ram owner who's looking to replace their factory headlights with the upgraded projector option and is looking for one with a modern design. These Pro Series projector headlights project a brighter, more focused beam of light when compared to the factory reflectors that spread the light outwards. They're constructed from clear, shatter-resistant lenses with jet black housings and include H7 high and low beam bulbs. They feature T-shaped LED daytime running lights as well as sequential turn signals and are DOT approved, meaning they're legal for on-road use. So as far as price goes, this headlight comes in at around $375, putting it about middle of the road price-wise when compared to other options. And for your money, you're getting a projector-style headlight with black styling that comes with several LED features like the daytime running lights and sequential turn signals. I'm giving this install a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. It features a direct bolt-up install with no wiring required and can be done within 1 hour. So with that said, let's get into our install. For this install, you will need an impact gun or a ratchet will work just fine, 10 and 8mm sockets, a ratcheting 10mm wrench. You may want a flathead screwdriver and a small pick tool, and you will need a pop clip removal tool. Okay, so the first step in our install, we're gonna grab a pop clip removal tool, and with our hood open, we're gonna remove the rad support cover. Go ahead and get under each of these pop clips. All right, now you can grab the cover and remove it off your truck. Next up, we're gonna remove this trim piece. We're gonna take out all the 10mm bolts. Before we do that, we do have to remove one pop clip on each side. Get under it with a pop clip removal tool. You may want a bit stronger or smaller of one so you can remove it. Repeat that on the other side. Now, these are a bit different style than the pop clip we just saw. That's why we're going to use a slightly different tool to help out with this one. Next up, we can remove all of the 10mm bolts that are holding on this top trim piece. Grab your socket, let's get these off. All right, at this point you can grab your trim piece and just pull forward towards you and remove it off the truck. Next up, we're moving to the wheel well so we can remove this side trim piece. What we're gonna do is take an 8mm socket and remove these 2 bolts. There's also one bolt inside this opening right here. It is a 10mm, so grab a 10mm ratcheting wrench, or you can use a regular wrench. We're gonna get this removed. With all the bolts removed from this trim piece, what we're gonna do is grab the front and just pull straight towards you to release all these plastic clips. Then we're gonna grab and pull straight out because it's attached right here to your fender. This is kind of difficult. Repeat that process on the other side. And if you guys want, you can remove 2 more bolts right here and peel back the wheel well liner. It just gives you a little bit better access to that bolt on the inside here. We are going to still use the ratcheting wrench. You can use a small ratchet if you'd like. Go ahead and grab your 10mm ratcheting wrench. remove this bolt. All right, so at this point, with all the bolts removed, you can grab back on the trim piece and firmly pull towards you. All right, so if you do have any of these pieces hung up, grab a pry tool, or we're using a flathead, and all we're doing here is just prying down on that center piece right there to release it. Next up, remove the 4 10mm bolts holding on your grill. Next up, we're going to remove these 3 bolts holding on the bottom of our grill. These 2 also hold our headlight, but since our headlight is held in with several other bolts, we should be fine to remove all 3 of these. Go ahead and grab your 10 mil and let's get these out. Repeat that on the other side. All right, so now we can remove the grill. We're gonna pull up on each side of the tabs. These are where the bolts went through on each side. Grab it and pull it straight off. All right, so before we can take the final 2 bolts out of the headlight, we do have to remove this pop clip here. And to do that, we're just gonna use our metal tool, get up under the edge of it. Try to be as gentle as possible because we will be reusing these, and get it out. All right, grab your 10mm socket and remove the last bolt up top. All right, now we can grab our 10mm socket and remove the final bolt on the side of our headlight. With all of the bolts removed, grab your headlight and pull forward straight towards you. At this point, you should see 2 wiring harnesses. There is a small one up towards the corner here. Press down and remove the connector. The second one is a bit lower, all the way to the bottom. Go ahead and press down and remove this one as well. All right, so at this point we have to install the wiring harness to power some of the accent LEDs. What we're gonna do is aim the 2 ends of the wiring harness with the plugs towards each of the headlights. Now these are not the same length, so make sure that you're using the shorter one to the driver's side, and then the longer one's gonna go over to the passenger side that we were just working on. Now you're gonna wanna secure this with zip ties or double-sided tape. Make sure that there's no wires hanging loose in your engine bay. And we're going to go to this nut on the battery here. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna loosen it up a little bit. And slide the connector underneath. And go ahead and tighten it back down. Now that positive was a 12mm. We're working with a 10mm for the negative side. Same situation, go ahead and slide the wire underneath. Grab your 10mm socket and tighten it down. All right, so make sure that harness is routed away from anything hot or moving. Make sure you're zip tying it out of the way. Go ahead and run it all the way to your headlight. And what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna plug it in to this small harness on the bottom. And again, this powers our LED accent lights. Next up, we're gonna plug in our main harness. Push it in until it clicks. Now we can route our headlight onto the truck. All right, now we can install the pop clip, the factory pop clip, right on top of the headlight. And go ahead and install your factory hardware. Go ahead and grab your 10mm socket and tighten it down. Go ahead and install the side bolt as well. All right, so now that we have our factory headlight uninstalled from our truck, we can check it out side by side with our new headlight here. Now, as you can see, aside from the design, the biggest difference is the black housing. This is gonna get your truck a nice blacked out look, and it's definitely a change from the chrome housing of your factory headlight. Now, there is a functional difference as well. Our new headlight features a projector lens. When compared to the reflector of the factory, your projector gets you a brighter, more focused beam of light, where the factory headlight sort of just spreads it out in that reflector style. But with that said, let's finish up our install. All right, so moving on to our driver's side headlight, we're gonna remove the pop clip that's holding this on in the back here, using our metal pop clip tool. Then grab your 10mm socket and remove the bolt that's right next to it. Finally, remove the bolt in the side of your headlight with a 10mm socket. All right, at this point, all the bolts are removed. You can grab your headlight and pull straight forward. Find the large harness. We're gonna go ahead and press down and unplug that connector. And there'll be one more connector towards the back corner. This one's a little bit smaller. Press down and release that as well. All right, so we have our new headlight here. We're gonna plug in the other side of that harness that we wired in a little bit earlier. Make sure it's plugged all the way in. And then again, just route it away from anything that's hot or moving, zip tie it out of the way. Let's begin to line up our headlight on the truck. Grab the large factory harness, and we're gonna plug it in. It's not very long, so you'll have to plug it in as you're lining up your headlight. It might be a little bit hard to see, but it plugs into the factory location just at the bottom here. All right, now that it's plugged in, go ahead and line up your headlight. Make sure the tab on the side is lined up as well. Line up the hole for your pop clip. Go ahead and reinstall that first. That will hold it in place for you. Grab your first bolt and reinstall that up top here. With your 10mm socket, tighten it down. Reinstall the bolt in the side of your headlight. And tighten it down. All right, at this point you can line up your grille. Line up the tabs on the top of each headlight, and the grille should fall into place. All right, at this point you can line up the hardware in the bottom of your grille. We're reinstalling all of the factory hardware here. Grab your 10mm socket and tighten all of these down. Repeat that process on the other side of your grill. Now we can install the 4 bolts that hold on the top of our grill. Now we can install the trim pieces next to our grill, line them up, and then press them into place. All right, at this point we can reinstall the bolt that holds on our trim piece. Go ahead and line it up. Grab your 10mm ratcheting wrench, or you can use a small socket. Go ahead and tighten this down. All right, go ahead and press your wheel well liner back into place. Line it up and reinstall the factory hardware. Grab your 8mm socket and tighten them down. If you pulled any additional bolts out of your liner to get a little more space, make sure you reinstall those as well. All right, install the trim piece on the other side. Make sure it's fully pressed into place, and we'll move on to the wheel well. All right, go ahead and line up your bolts. Grab your 10mm ratcheting wrench, or you can use a small socket here and tighten it down. Tuck your wheel well liner back into place. All right, so if you're having a little bit of difficulty lining this up, a trick is you can use a pick or a small flathead and go through each hole and pull down. That, if you line up one, it should help you align the other. Go ahead and install all of the bolts that you took out. If you took out any additional ones farther along your wheel well liner, make sure those are installed as well. Grab your 8mm socket and tighten them down. All right, now you're gonna line up this top trim piece. There are posts on each side going under each fender. Make sure those are lined up. And then go ahead and wiggle it into place. Now we're gonna reinstall the factory hardware. Grab your 10 mil and tighten them down. Repeat this process for the remainder of the bolts that hold on this trim piece. Don't forget to reinstall the pop clips. They go on this trim piece and there's one above each headlight. Repeat that process on the other side. All right, at this point you can set the rad support cover back on top. Make sure that it's lined up properly. There should be an opening on each side, right where the fender is. Make sure it's tucked in there. And there is a metal slot back here that it tucks into as well. Reinstall all of the pop clips. All right, so that is going to do it for the review and install of these headlights. And remember, for all things Ram, keep it at AmericanTrucks.com.